Hi Gemini, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your July 2020 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. Now before I dive into this reading, we're just going to clear away any negative energy, raising our own energy vibration, and just making this a calm and peaceful place to be. All right. So before we dive into everything that this moon holds for us, I'm going to shuffle the tarot and we'll see what the tarot has to say. Gemini. How will Gemini be affected by the July 2020 full moon? How will Gemini be affected by the July 2020 full moon? How will Gemini be affected by the July 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this message and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, guide this message. Show us clearly. Clearly, honestly. How will Gemini be affected by the July 2020 full moon? How will Gemini be affected? Show us clearly. Guide this message. Show us clearly. All right. These two. Fantastic. Okay, so we're starting off with the left side, which is the private self, the heart self, and the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Queen of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. The Queen of Swords, which is you shining right through. The Nine of Swords, and the Three of Swords. Oh, it's a very intense time. Emotionally, we have the Page of Wands, a fire sign energy, an Aries, a Leo, a Sagittarius. Then we have the Queen of Wands, a progression, evolution. The Three of Wands, the Six of Pentacles. The Magician, absolutely beautiful. The King of Wands, oh, I love that. The Two of Cups, the Minor Arcana Lovers card, and the Knight of Swords. This is a very powerful time for you. This is a very active time for you. This is a time where you're seeing doubts and fears kind of move away, but they've been holding you back for some time. Also heartbreaks, pains, disappointments. And what is really cool is that this moon is the full moon in Capricorn. And this is the moon where, like, no hold bars. This is the serious moon, the organizing moon, the practical moon, the methodical moon. And so you're going to see here that energy, that power is really a part of you. And the Capricorn full moon here says an end of a tough cycle. So the end of a tough cycle approaches. You start to see that there's like light at the end of the tunnel. But also it's really just lovely, and what I love about this moon is that it brings us closer to the archetype of the elder. All right, so Capricorn is aligned with the archetype of the elder, and as we align with that elder energy, we align with our ancestral bonds, and also our DNA story becomes much more profound. So you're going to find yourself very drawn to older things, okay? To your ancestry, to your family, to even past life experiences where you're sitting there and you're like, wow, why am I drawn to this place in the world? I never had been before, or, oh, I always was, now it's rekindling that spark within me. That's the Capricorn energy coming forward, the Capricorn full moon, and you living in the light of the elders. And so here you have the full moon representing a surrender to the divine and power. You're definitely walking in power here and having that connection between the heart and the mind to move you to power, to prosperity, to the place that you really want to be and to the way that you really want to be within your life. And this moves you and is enhanced by the fact that this is the second lunar eclipse in a row. So the Capricorn full moon is, of course, on July 5th. The lunar eclipse is also on July 5th. On July 12th, we come out of Mercury retrograde, which is absolutely wonderful, even though like a lot of the air has been cleared, a lot of things needed to be learned, needed to be said during this Mercury retrograde. It was a very powerful Mercury retrograde for everyone that I've seen. And so here, there is the sense of coming out of the Mercury retrograde much more empowered, much more emboldened. And with the lunar eclipse, this brings forward perseverance. This brings you to a sense of accountability and commitment. So it doesn't mean that you're being super hard on yourself, though at times you can be, because there's such a force in you that wants you to move forward. So you're holding yourself accountable. Just make sure you're not being rude to yourself. Because here it says conclusions are within reach. You are reaching towards the conclusions that you want, towards the power that you need. And this moon, even though it is the stag moon and the blessings moon, it is in the Queen of the Moon cards. It is the thunder moon. And this is a moon of change. So as you have the blessings moon coming in, this is a moon that connects you with blessings. It connects you with wisdom. It connects you with mentors. It connects you with working out problems and seeing the long-term goals, right? So it really is this moon almost, and I see it as like lips kissing you on the forehead, saying, I bless you. And that is going to be very powerful. You might actually feel that, like just a warmth on your third eye, where it's like you are being blessed as you move forward. And you'll feel that throughout this time. Changes guide you, and you are being guided by change. This leads you, okay, to the new moon, which will be in Leo, and this is on the 22nd of July. Now, during the 22nd of July, no, it's not the 22nd of July. During the 20th of July, there we go, it's the 20th of July, that is the new moon. All right, we have the void, of course, coming in at 1:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the Leo new moon says confidence is your key to success. And as you're organizing things, as you're, really connecting with learning and listening and being patient with yourself and seeing what you need, this is a time where you have to have confidence within yourself, because you have all the tools that you need with the Capricorn full moon. But if you aren't confident, okay, if you don't believe in you, it crumbles. And so here, confidence is your key. And then with the void, of course, nothing will come of the situation. So at 1:55, I would block out a whole hour, okay, just to play on the safe side, where you don't make any really big choices, where you don't do anything that, is really going to, that is really going to have a lasting impact. So if you can just kind of be sitting back, reading a book, or, just not making any really big decisions around 1:55, right? That is going to be something where it works out better for you, because things don't go astray. Things don't get as, tangled as they would if you were doing something really, really, really important during this time. So just be kind to yourself, be accepting of yourself during this time, and know that the void of course comes in and things get jumbled. But with this new moon, as you are embracing your confidence and as your confidence is key for your success, you see something new starting. Something new, okay, is coming forward. And that's also why you need this confidence, because you are walking through to a new beginning, to a new power, to a new understanding, to a new place. And this is a time of beginnings for you. And you need to have confidence within your beginnings, because we can see here from the Nine of Swords that you are directly linked to doubts and fears, heartbreaks and pains. And it does not mean that this moon is going to be doubts and fears, heartbreaks and pains. It means that your personal self is dealing with these issues. And you might be sitting there and looking at it and be like, dang, I don't want to be dealing with these issues. I've dealt with them enough. It's been so long, and it's been such a hard road. But there is such a power to you. And as you move into the full moon in August, okay, the full moon is in Aquarius, okay, and this is on August 3rd. And this says, show the world the real you. And this is exactly what you're doing. Now, the full moon in August is the corn moon and the surgeon moon. But in the Queen of the Moon cards, it is also the green corn moon. And so here it says, be patient. So as you show the world the real you, be patient. Be patient with the way they accept it or don't accept it. Be patient with how you are perceived and how you are received. Patience is going to be key during this time. Now, the spirit animals that are watching over you for this time, and I do not have them in my deck, so we do have stand-ins. For July, it is the woodpecker spirit, and it is the salmon. For August, it is the cougar, and it is the salmon. So salmon is absolutely the most beautiful, and in my opinion, the most beautiful spirit animal to have watching over you. It's the animal of rebirth. It's the animal of moving forward, of happiness, of eternal life, of, sacred femininity. And it is the spirit animal that has you living life at the fullest and filling your life with people and things that you love. So we have the nightingale spirit standing in. And the nightingale spirit says, for the salmon spirit, love is all around you, because it is. And the woodpecker spirit is very similar, and I was very surprised by this, to the bear spirit. They're protectors. And you don't think of the woodpecker as being a protector, at least I do not. And here, when you see yourself moving towards your passion, seeking your passion and your truth, you also protect those who are seeking their passion and their truth. And this is why you have the seeds, the acorn, the paw print over your heart. And it says, take time out. Take time out to connect with what you love. Take time out to connect with what you truly desire. Take time out to look at your heart, your soul, yourself. Because in August, you have the salmon spirit coming forward. So again, love is all around you. That joy, that movement, that happiness, that sense of bliss. And then it moves you also to the panther spirit, who is standing in for the cougar. The cougar represents leadership and taking charge of your life. And the panther says it so well. Reclaim your power. Reclaim your power and walk in love. And that's what you do as you show the world the true you. And as you have this power coming forward, you have two astounding queens guiding you. You have the queen that represents you, okay, the Queen of Swords. You're an air sign energy, Gemini. You're represented by the swords in the minor arcana. You're represented by the lovers in the major arcana. The Queen of Swords cuts through doubts and fears. You stand in your truth. There's pride and determination. There's a sense of, I know the battles that I have fought. I know what I have learned. And I know where I need to be. And there's a connection with this Queen of the Mind and this Queen of the Heart that comes forward. The Queen of Cups is love. Connection with the spirit world. Okay? Connection with the waters that flow through us, bless us, become us. And you're having that connection of the mind and the heart, which I see as being astoundingly important. I believe that we are all emotional beings. As emotional beings, we have to have that open communication between the mind and the heart. If we don't, we fall apart. And you're going to see that during this time, especially with this powerful elder connection, especially with the blessings of the salmon spirit being over you and love being a part of you. You're going to think, Gemini, and it's going to be a very powerful thought that if I just organize things enough, I'll be able to get there. all work and no play is going to be a very big part of you. You're going to be very focused on your goals. You're going to be like, listen, I need to, kind of get my tuchus in order. I have to, get things in order, move my tush and move forward. And that's it, period. End of discussion. Everything else is nonsense. And what you're going to see here is that you need that communication between your heart and your mind, between what you love and what you know to be your truth and what you know. So at times you might sit there and say, but logic says, listen to your heart. What does your heart say? Okay, logic says this, but your heart is telling you something more. You have to have that communication. Why are you holding back? Because there's fear. There's fear that's coming up during this time internally, and you might not get it, okay? But you're breaking some very old patterns within your DNA, within your past life experience. And as you're breaking these patterns, you have the Nine of Swords. You might find that you have a bit of insomnia. You just can't sleep. You're worried and you're thinking, oh my gosh, how do I move forward towards what I desire, towards what I want? And this is actually a fantastic time. Spirit is showing me for you to light a candle and let it burn and light it with the intention. Light it with your intentions. Light it with your passion. Light it with what you want or the darkness that you want to see out of your world. And let it burn. Put it in a nice safe place, and let it burn. And you're going to be releasing the blockages that hold you back because you're burning it away from you. And as you do so, you're looking at the hurts and the pains that you've been through, heartbreaks, disappointments, angers, upsets, despairs. And it's like, I don't want this in my life anymore. I will not be defined by my sorrow. I will not be defined by my pain. I see it. I understand it. I know it has made me who I am. And in a way, yes, we would lift the pain from ourselves if we could. But no, it made you. And I'm not talking about something absolutely horrific. I'm talking about the pains that settle into us, that define us, that bring us to our humanity, that show us how to love, how to be compassionate, that life isn't perfect, and that, a stiff upper lip doesn't always work. Sometimes you need to release it. The doubts and the fears, they come. But we need to embrace our hearts during this time, and that's why this open communication between your mind and your heart is going to be so terribly important. There's also a need for expression, okay? Your mind and your heart, and sitting there and saying, one cannot rule over the other. They need to be co-rulers. They need to have that power, because as that power moves you forward, your heart calls to your passion, your intuition, the Page of Wands. And you're a student of your passion, you're a student of what you desire, you're a student of what you know, of what you need. And you're learning, you're understanding. You're building this place to be. And it comes in first with this fire energy. Now, it can be very much around the new moon on the 20th of July, where you're sitting there and you're questioning. You're asking questions, you're looking at things more deeply. And as you see this, you look at yourself, okay? You look at your passion, you look at what you desire, you look at what you need, and it leads you to yet having another queen on your side, the Queen of Wands. And I love it because the mind feeds the fire, all right? And you start off with being, a seeker, a questioner. And then you have the Queen of Wands, the King of Wands. People see you as the king, but you have the King and the Queen of Wands here. And that is a soulmate connection, a true love connection. Your internal self is you, guided by you, by your logic, by your way of seeing things, by your power, by your truth. And then the fire burns. The fire burns, the intuition comes, the passion guides you. There's an openness to you, where the Queen of Swords is like, okay, this is my truth. This is what I fought for. This is what I fight for. This is where I stand. The Queen of Wands says, this is what I build. This is what I know. This is the passion that burns inside of me. This is what I create. And so there's an ease that comes. An ease off your shoulders. a focusing of intentions, a focusing of desires. And it leads you to this beautiful connection here. Now, it can be that you meet somebody. Yes, most definitely. But it can also be that you have this coming together of the masculine and feminine aspects of yourself. But you also have this coming together of the truth of you. How you need to be in public, how you need to be, strong and determined and unwavering, at times. And then how your heart needs to be. Looking for the love, looking for the compassion, looking for the kindness, the understanding. And that's what guides you. That's what guides you. That's what leads you. That's what has you looking at things. And with the Three of Wands, it's what moves you forward. It's like, oh my goodness. The world can open up. Things can become more. I can see more clearly. I can be guided towards something beautiful. And the world opens and you look at these ships and you're like, man, things are moving. And you feel it in your heart, your soul, yourself. And there's a need as things move forward. And as you're embracing this intuition of self, of this power of what you desire, okay? There is this sense here of balance coming in. Balance through rebirth. Balance through a greater understanding. Balance through a kindness of self. But also listening to that, desire and sitting there and saying, I'm not being everybody's lackey. I'm not putting up with everything from everybody. I need balance. I need understanding. I need passion. I need truth. I need this. And as you obtain it, you start to balance the scales. You start to live a more just life for yourself. Justly moving towards your pattern. Your pattern? Yeah, your truth. Moving away from sorrow, doubt, and fear as the world opens to you. Because here, your heart is very concerned with this earthly plane. It's kind of like, listen, okay? We can have thoughts, we can have, all this stuff, but I want my life to be what I want it to be. And that's very much a Capricorn energy coming in. Capricorn is like, listen, whatever you are doing that is not aiding you has to go. And it's like, whoa, wait, hold on. And it's being very truthful. It's being very blunt. And at times you can actually feel as if your mind is ganging up on you. You might even be feeling it now. It's like, okay, I know I have to do this, but can you give me a moment? And it's like, no, I can't. You have to do it now. And if you are not ready to do it now, jump and figure it out. And you're going to sit there and think to yourself, rude, just rude. But there is this power here that it's moving you out of sorrow, out of doubts, out of fears, out of this place of, feeling as if something else has control. As if, the past is the power. And you're done with that. Because in your public world, okay, your public persona during this time is the magician. And I mean, what's better than this? As above, so below. As you believe it, so it becomes. Your mind, your power, your understanding. You see that you have the blessings. You see that you have the power of the world around you, the elements, the truth. And as you see this, you start seeing yourself much more honestly. Because there is a pessimistic side to the full moon in Capricorn. And I'm just warning you of it. Because it's a moon of duty. It's a moon of, I have to get this done. And so it can lead to feeling overwhelmed. And that's here what actually you are alleviating from your life. That sense of doubts, of fears, of apprehensions. And then you have the magician coming in. And publicly, you stand your ground. You know your truth. You turn lead into gold. You turn something that is seemingly invaluable or unvaluable to people into something that is invaluable, something that is cherished. And that's what you're doing to your life. And people are taking note of it because they're sitting there and they're like, okay, you get your emotions. We know that about you, Gemini. Okay, the communication of emotions, communication, words, feelings, you get that. But then they see you as a student of your passion, a student of what you desire. And then it brings the magic into your life. They're like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? Because you are now calling the King of Wands. During this time, okay, you claim your throne, you know your truth, you know your passion, you know what you desire. And that's period it. There's also a sense here, publicly, you want to move more, okay? You want to go after something more. There's going to be something where I just see you kind of like springing up from your throne and being like, yes, yes, let's go for it. Let's do it. And there's going to be something that holds you back. It's going to be, yes, it's going to be responsibilities. I mean, you do have a line of, the queens here, the Queen of Swords, which is, of course, you, and the Queen of Wands, which is also you. It can be your connection with a fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, strong pull during the Leo new moon. But there's this sense of power, of truth, of seeing, of understanding, of grace coming forward. And again, you could have a very strong fire sign influence within your life during this time, all right? Or within your chart that's really coming forward, all right? You claim your throne, you know what you desire, and then love comes in, the Two of Cups. Love, joy, understanding, success, peace, brilliance. The Minor Arcana Lovers card is like you're moving out of this place of doubt and fear, this place of feeling trapped, this place of not being able to sleep, this place of, being overwhelmed in your mind going over and over and over. And it's like, no, I'm moving forward. I'm done. I can't change the past. I can't change anybody else. The only person I have control over is myself. And during this time, you are going to want to, at times, take rigid control over your life and say, the schedule, everything is done, in 30-minute increments, has to be done just like this, or like, can't even be even more than that, like 5-minute increments. Like, I have to just have this all done. And that's not going to let you have the beauty of this energy flowing through you. It's going to make you so rigid that it starts to crumble. You have stories moving through you. You have stories of your ancestors. You have stories of your past lives. You have a time to express, to create. And you have this beautiful kind of opposite energy coming in. The one is of the Capricorn moon, which shows this sense of, getting things done. And the other is still of the Capricorn moon, which shows this connection to your elders, this connection to your blessings, this connection to the bonds within your bones and within your blood and within your spirit that needs to be released. It's very powerful for you, Gemini. And it flows with love and wisdom through your very self. And it leads you to being a defender, a knight of your truth, of what you desire, of what you stand for. At times you're going to just want to rush forward. It's like, okay, I'm done with the heartbreak, finding the balance, yes, and I'm moving. I'm moving. My angels bless me. You have the angel wings right back here. My angels bless me and I'm going. I'm going for it. Make sure you think it through. Not overthink it, but don't just say, I'm so tired of feeling overwhelmed and, everything like that I'm just going to jump. Because in some cases, yeah, that's going to work really well. Spirit is actually saying, for some, when it's not something where there's a huge risk at hand, do it. If it's like, oh, I've always wanted to paint that picture or write that book or, clean up that area, now's the time to do it. Now's the time to go after it. But if it's, I've always wanted to, buy a house in the middle of nowhere or own my own, ghost town, think that through. Think that through, because there's going to be something here where you are so ready for this change, where you're just going to be like, it's time to go. It's time to fly. I am the defender of my truth, and you are. And you do so powerfully. But you want to also do so wisely. Because sometimes the Knight of Swords, as much as the swords are all about the mind and thinking and reason and logic and truth, sometimes the Knight of Swords is like, okay, did all this research? Screw it, I'm just going to jump anyway. So you want to be mindful of that. Now let's go deeper and see what the tarot has to say. Ending message for Gemini. Ending message for Gemini. Ooh. Ending message for Gemini for the the full moon in Capricorn in July. Ending message for Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this message and show us clearly. Ooh, this one here and this one here. Fantastic. So we start off here, and you end with the Queen that you start with. You end with the Queen of Cups. And what I love here is that the moon is right over the cup. This moon brings you blessings. It flows through your body. It embraces your blood. It embraces you. And it brings you these blessings, this joy. And so this heartbreak, this pain, this disappointment, it doesn't have a lasting place within your life because you're looking at it and you're being very honest with yourself and you're saying, no more, no more. And then you move here to the King of Pentacles. This is earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, okay? Strong link to the Capricorn moon. This is a sense of, again, being a public figure, of being seen. Your practicality is seen, your power, your logic, your truth, the seeds that you are planting and what you desire. Seen and understood. And there's a force to you, but there's also this joy to you. It's like, I've made this in my life. And your heart is saying, I've made this. I found my balance. I'm going to enjoy it because I am. And then it leads you to the Nine of Pentacles. You know, as you move forward and as you see all the magic that you have, all the blessings that you have, this power, this energy to you, the Nine of Pentacles is counting your blessings. It's looking at the big picture that is you. It is sitting there and saying, this is what is prosperous. This is what is bountiful to me. I will not be held back and I will not be kept silent. I'm embracing my harvest and I am turning it into my bounty. And let's see what the moon has to say. How will Gemini be affected? Ooh, okay. By the July 2020 full moon. How will Gemini be affected by the July 2020 full moon? My goodness. Okay. And now for your Moonology cards. How will Gemini be affected by the July 2020 full moon? How will Gemini be affected by the July 2020 full moon? All right. So let's see. Let's see what Luna has to say, given a voice of her own to intertwine with the tarot. Nourishment, trust, and darkness. So there's a nourishing trust that comes from the darkness. A release. Take time to breathe out. And nothing is yet set in stone. Oh, I love it. The Pisces moon. Meditate and contemplate. The full moon in Virgo. You are good enough, which is lovely. And then the full moon in Cancer. A personal issue reaches resolution. Oh. And the moon is saying here, rejoice. Rejoice, Gemini. Because you are being nourished internally. As you embrace your queenliness, you are being nourished. Trust. Trust that the hardships that you have been through, they are not forever. The darkness comes, yes, but the darkness comes with every moon. We see it, we understand it, we learn from it, and we grow. And as you have this power guiding you, you release. You release and become the student and the teacher. You become the power, and it comes from your heart. It flows through your soul. Take time to breathe out, like thunderclouds, releasing the negative energy. It is the thunder moon. Release that negativity. Release the things, the words that you swallow back, the things that aren't said or done because they might be harmful or hurtful to another, but yet it builds up inside of you, and it's like, I need this release because it is wrong to harm and hurt myself. And I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about spiritually and personally. You are so worried about what the rest of the world thinks that you forget to pay attention to, Gemini. What you think. The mutable moon says nothing is yet set in stone. And you have to know that about your life. Because there are times where you feel like it is set in stone. And when you sit there and think, there's no hope. But the King of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles shows you finding your balance in this world. And releasing what has held you back. And it moves you to the new moon in Pisces, meditation and contemplation. Quiet. Think. Embrace. And then we have the full moon in Virgo. You are good enough. And I always thought that that was rather condescending. You are good enough. Oh, okay, thank you. But it's not. You are good enough for the situation that you are in. You are enough to solve the problems, to embrace the truth. And it does not matter what was said before. It does not matter the hurts, the pains that you have been through. In this moment, you are enough. And you must see that within yourself. Because it moves you to the full moon in Cancer. A personal issue reaches resolution. Because you see your prosperity, you see your bounty, and you know it within yourself. You know your truth. Now your subconscious tarot message for this time is the Tower, and that makes perfect sense. Subconsciously, you're being pushed out of your comfort zone. You are watching things fall apart, all right? And this has happened multiple times in your life. That's why you have the Nine of Swords and the Three of Swords there, because it's like, oh my gosh, it's not again. It's like, I don't want to go through this again. I can't do this. And subconsciously, you know that you're on the verge of a huge change, of something great coming. But divinity says, whether you like it or not, here it comes. You are being pushed out of your comfort zone, and you are seeing something spectacular. And as you have this truth guide you forward, right, because it is part of your truth during this time, it leads you to the Lord, to the Emperor, which is an Aries energy, a time frame of March 21st to April 19th. It leads you to being the ruler of your destiny, to claiming your power. This is the Eternal Father, right? So there can be very strong masculine influences in your life during this time, but there's a very strong sense of power and purpose and dedication. You have the horns on your head for the stag moon, the majesty, the brilliance. And yes, at times, subconsciously, you're going to feel trapped by responsibilities, because isn't that what responsibilities do? They trap us in one way or another. But you're also going to feel emboldened by them. Your subconscious moon message is boundaries. Having clear, defined boundaries are going to be very important for you. You know, it's with the Six of Pentacles, it's like you find your balance. You say to the world, there's no longer just giving and no taking. There needs to be harmony. And as you find these boundaries, you see yourself growing in a way that is exquisite. And it leads you to the energy is gaining momentum. The energy around you, the energy of creation, the energy of beauty, the energy of understanding is gaining momentum. And it is guiding you forward during this time. All right, Gemini. I hope you guys have an absolutely beautiful moon. This was a lovely reading to bring to you. I wish you guys nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe.